Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jackie Marie. Today I'm making a video. It's an updated video to, what is the salary of a unit secretary. So I originally made this video in 2019, I want to say. And, you know, being a secretary, the pay, it just depends on a lot of things. It depends on your experience. It depends on the region you live, like as far as in America, what state you live in. It could be dependent on what hospital you work at, what type of hospital you work at. And then it could also be dependent on your job duty. And what I mean by that is, of course, experience is if you have previous experience. If you have previous experience, then yes, you may get paid more than someone who doesn't have any experience at all. Same thing with region. People who, just doing my research, I noticed that people who live in New York, California, Oregon, Washington, they make a lot of money, you know. And then, sometimes it could be the state. So they can be in a certain region, but in that region may not make a lot of money, but that particular state, if you work at a hospital in that particular state, you may make more money than the next state, if that makes sense. So you're in the same region, it's just this one state pays more. It could be you can make more money depending on the hospital. So if you work at like a teaching hospital where they have a lot of um, like if it's a teaching hospital or if it's a trauma hospital, you might make more money than if you work at, at a hospital in a small town out in the country. And then, your pay can be dependent on what your job duty is. So as you could be a unit secretary, but you can also be a CNA, a PCA, so you can do the job of both. So if you work on a smaller unit, you can do the job as a secretary and as a CNA. You can do the job as a secretary in, EKG, like read the monitors, a monitor tech. So it just all depends on what the job duty is as far as what you get paid. So it's hard to say what the salary of a unit secretary is because it there are so many variables. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at some of the pay, just just to give you an what's the word, overview of the pay in different areas. I hope you can see some of this. So like in New York, and I got this off of Indeed, and I will put the link to, they have a page, and you just click the page and then you just put in the salary of a unit secretary and then you just select the state. So I was doing a lot of copy and pasting, so that's where I got all this information from. But like the highest, and actually I was looking at New York State and then this pulled up different areas. So like in New York, they're saying that the average pay is $20.70. Now, this is based on 7 secretaries reporting their salary. So if you ever been on Indeed or anything like that, it'll ask you, like, if you want to, because if you got your resume on there or anything like that, it'll read it. So it'll know you used to work at such and such hospital, and then it'll ask you to do a review, like write a review of what it's like working there, and it'll ask you like the salary, what you did, how long you worked there, if you still work there. Of course, it's all anonymous. They know it, but like people who read the reviews don't know it's you. And then it'll ask you your salary, and then if you volunteer your salary, it'll put that there. So this saying that the average salary in New York is $20.70, and that's based on 7 salaries reported. But that also depends on like the average, because basically they're just taking the average. So if 7 people reported, submitted their salary, those 7 people could be, could have been there for a long time, and so they got paid more compared to someone who You know, so let's say you had 6 that's been there for a long time, been a secretary for a long time, and 1 who just started. So that's how the salary is calculated. Same way if you know you had 7 and 6 just started, you know, been there less than 2 years, and then you had 1 that's been there for a long time and they're reporting their salary. So that's how you get this information. So if you look at the areas and you see the salary is probably about the same, you look at how many people reporting, yeah, okay, so then more likely that's how much the salary is. So like if you look at, so New York is $20.70. That's 7 people reported. Here Brooklyn, um, I think this says 8 salaries reported. So the salary is 1867. I mean, Brooklyn, New York City, they close. So yeah, you know, you figure that's probably about right. Here we got Baltimore, Maryland. They got 871, and they had 26 secretaries reported for that area. So, you know, so that's more than likely the salary over there. And they're all basically in the same range. Washington, D.C., they had 12 secretaries reporting, $20.68. So it's basically like New York. And so this is what I mean by when I say like region. It varies on the city and the state. So California, I'm sorry, California, Connecticut, I arranged it by region. It's saying that the average salary in Connecticut is like $18.58, and I can't see how many. I can't see how many salaries reported, but they said the average salary in 2020, and this was according to 2022, so it's not something from like 3 years ago. It's actually 2022. Is 1858. And then let's see, Florida, which is where I am. I'm in South Florida. The average salary is, they say in Fort Lauderdale, is 1766, which I can believe, compared to Hudson, Florida. See, Hudson, Florida is 1472. So Fort Lauderdale is in South Florida. So you have Miami-Dade County, which is where Miami is, and then you have Broward. Um, and then Hudson is over on the other side, like over by Tampa. So I can believe the salary, because South Florida is made up of Miami, like as far as hospitals. I mean, just in general, South Florida is considered Miami-Dade, Florida, Broward County, West Palm, and Palm Beach County, and they have a lot of hospitals. Like it ain't nothing to live in West Palm Beach and work in Fort Lauderdale. You literally in a different county. Do you understand? Because West Palm Beach is in Palm Beach County, and Fort Lauderdale is in Broward County. It's it, it's a different county, but it's not far when you really, 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 really think about it. It's not far. So you know, now West Palm Beach down to Miami, now that's a ride. Okay, that's a ride. But depending on if you really want to do it. Um, but it's nothing. They have a lot of hospitals. Fort Lauderdale, they have the trauma. Um, God, what's the name of it? What's the name of the trauma hospital? I can't think of it. Miami has a lot of um, trauma hospitals. So like Miami-Dade County, they have a lot of trauma hospitals. They have a lot of children's hospitals. What is the name of Miami's? Broward. I can't think of it. I could see it because it's like right off the highway, but I can't think of it. So I could understand that because they're competing. Those 3 counties are competing for staff. So yes, the salary will be higher. So that's why I said the Fort Lauderdale, the average being 1766. That makes sense compared to Hudson, Florida, which is like near Tampa. Tampa, I'm not saying Tampa. I mean, Tampa is jumping now, but Tampa over on that side, well, let me rephrase that. Florida, you have a large population in South Florida, and then the rest of the state is just, I don't want to say, I mean, it's just people in your house. You in your house with your backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like you chilling. Like it's not all. If you get on the highway, you're gonna be sitting because traffic is slow. That's South Florida. Okay. Everywhere else, not really. Now Orlando, yeah, okay, you're gonna have some problem. You're gonna be sitting in New York, in Orlando. Tampa, not really. Do you understand? So that's how Florida is just like that. South Florida is where the majority of the people are for the most part in the state. You got a large population, especially in those three counties. So yeah, because these three counties are competing for staff as opposed to like over Tampa area. Tampa is just Tampa. You know what I'm saying? So they the other hospitals that's closer. So like if you live in Hudson, but you don't live in Tampa, you live in Hudson, or you live in Lakeland, or you live, because Lakeland is kind of, it's between Tampa and Orlando. If you live over there, well, the nearest hospital is gonna be, oh, you know what I'm saying? So you gon' you're not gonna get that same pay because they're not competing with you because you ain't gonna make that drive, if that makes sense. So it depends on the state, it depends on the region. So much goes into what you make as a secretary. It's so hard when people ask how much do you make. It just depends. It also depends on if you work at a hospital that's not a nonprofit, as opposed to like a hospital like a tenant, a for-profit hospital, or a hospital like a tenant or HCH, HCA. Um, what's the one for Nashville? No, I think Nashville is HCA. But anyway, as opposed to a hospital that's just a standalone, it's just so much goes into it. Let's see, Washington State. Now, actually, I was looking at Washington State, the actual state, and it really didn't give me nothing. So I pulled up. I thought it. I thought it did. Hold on, let me. Like Birmingham, Alabama, 1737, and then Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and let's see, Birmingham, their average salary is 1737. They had 43 secretaries reporting salary. And then Atlanta, the average salary is 1878 with only looks like 5 secretaries, 6 reporting. So I don't know, because I don't know if that's a good thing. I know, Birmingham and Georgia are not that far. I don't think people commute, but I know people that live in Alabama move to Atlanta. Um, so I guess, I guess I know Atlanta has a lot of hospitals. They have teaching hospitals and things like that. I don't know the quality, but I know that I do know they have teaching hospitals there. Let's see, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 1740. So a lot of what I was seeing was the average salary was like $17, $18, $19. New York and DC, California, those were in the 20s. They were making bank. Okay, they were making bank. I was like, wow. Let's see. And then Mississippi is $16.20. And let me show you something else. Tennessee is $17.16. Okay, so Tennessee, so you have Mississippi, and then underneath Mississippi, you have Tennessee. So Mississippi was $16. Tennessee is $17. I'm sorry. Kentucky is was $16, and then underneath Kentucky is Tennessee, which is $17.16, and then you have Did I look at that backwards? I think I did. Okay, that's why I said it backwards. Okay. So anyway, what I was trying to get at, is Kentucky was $16, Mississippi was $16, but Tennessee was $17. They're in the same region. They're right above each other, but if you notice, Tennessee was more. And the reason why is because Tennessee has more teaching hospitals. So in Nashville, they have they have Vanderbilt Hospital, and then other hospitals, and then they also have in Memphis. Memphis is actually uh, they have a lot of hospitals in Memphis. They have Le Bonheur. They have a trauma hospital. It's called the Med. It's called the Regional something something. But if you live there, you call it the Med. Okay, and I think they might be called it the Elvis Presley Trauma Center because Elvis Presley is from Memphis. So, but it goes by the name, the Med. So if you type in the Med, it'll pull up Regional something health hospital something. But the Med is the number one trauma hospital in the area, 150-mile radius. So if you get injured in Arkansas and you're within that 150-mile radius, they're gonna put you on the airplane and fly you to the Med in Tennessee, in Memphis, Tennessee. Same thing, Missouri. If you're in Missouri and they need a trauma hospital, they're gonna put you on the airplane and fly you from Missouri to Memphis, Tennessee. So Tennessee, so the secretaries tended to be paid more because they have teaching hospitals and they have trauma hospitals. Whereas Mississippi, I don't think they got no trauma hospitals. They might, I don't know. Kentucky, no, it's a different, it's the same region, but that particular state is different. So in Tennessee, you got Nashville, they got a lot of teaching hospitals, and then same thing with Memphis. Memphis has a lot of hospitals. They have Le Bonheur, they have Methodist, they have Baptist, St. Jude, they have a St. Jude there. Who else they got? They got St. Francis. What was that? St. Mary's. I can't remember. But Memphis has a lot of hospitals. And then of course they had the Med. So, which is the number one trauma hospital in the region. Just remember what I said. 150 mile. Okay? Because like the trauma hospital we have, let's see. I think Jackson in Miami might be a trauma hospital. And then the one in Broward that I can't remember the name of. I don't know if it's Broward County. It might be just Broward County Hospital. That is a trauma hospital. West Palm in Palm Beach, they have I want to say St. Mary's is a trauma hospital. I want to say not JFK, Delray Beach. Delray Beach is a trauma. And I don't know if Good Samaritan, I don't know if they're a trauma. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I know Delray Beach and I know St. Mary's is. And then I want to say Jackson down in Miami is. So they have, you know what I'm saying? But those are counties. Whereas the Med is for a whole region. like 150 miles. So that's, you know. So it's a difference in the pay. And then of course we got Illinois. So it said the average salary in Illinois is $18.29. I think that's based on Chicago. Chicago's the biggest city in Illinois. Chicago also has a humongous suburb. I'm from a suburb in Chicago, so that where I was born is considered a suburb of Chicago. I was literally born like 45 minutes from Chicago. Like if you leave my house to get to Chicago, 45 minutes. So there are a lot of hospitals. You have, you know, you got the city of Chicago, you got all these suburbs, you got Indiana. Parts of Indiana is considered a suburb of Chicago. So I think that's where that comes from. And so you got this big area competing for um, staff, and then you have, so you have the suburbs of Chicago and Illinois, then you have parts of Indiana, and then you have, I don't know, how Wisconsin is, because Chicago is right on the border of Wisconsin as well. Because people will live in Illinois and cross over into Wisconsin, like, and work in Wisconsin. So so you got that big area competing for staff. So I think that's the reason why the average salary in Illinois is so high. Because the rest of the state is not like that. The rest of the state is you know that's where the buffaloes roam. Okay. If I don't know nothing else, if I don't remember nothing else about Illinois, I know that's where the buffaloes roam. Okay, because it's a lot of land. It's a lot of land, in Illinois it's flat. It's flat because of the buffaloes roam there. So I mean, Springfield, which is the capital, is small because a lot of people like more southern Illinois. The biggest city to them is St. Louis, Missouri. It's not even Springfield, because Springfield, which is the state capital, is small. So Springfield is kind of like, it reminds me of Tallahassee, because people used to say that if Tallahassee wasn't the capital of Florida, nobody would stop in Tallahassee, which is probably true. Okay, which is probably true, because it's just like it's just like right off the highway. Like, if it was not the capital, no one would stop there. And yeah, that's true. Ain't nobody told no lie. And that's how Springfield is. It's just So I think the average salary being so high is because of Chicago. And then this is just another in the area. This is Colorado. Um, Denver, Colorado. They said the average is $19.05 and 49 salaries were reported. That's a lot. 49. Aurora, Colorado, 17.95. 18 salaries reported. Castle Rock, 6 reported. So I actually don't know the distance between these two. I know, of course, Denver is a much bigger city, but I don't know the distance. So I don't know if you know what? Let me look. And what I'm trying to say is, I don't know if Denver is like in the middle of the state, and then Aurora is like in the corner, and then Castle Rock. Let's see. I'm looking on my phone, and I hope y'all can hear my nephew screaming in the background. Let's see. And let's see, Colorado. I don't know anything about out west. I mean, I know the states, but let's see. Let's see. Just a moment. I'm pulling it up. Okay. Lord. All right. So Denver is a big city, and then you got Boulder near it. Let's see. Where's Aurora? Oh yeah, I can see why Denver, because Denver has, Aurora's right next to it. Aurora's right there. Wow, I wonder why it's such a difference. And then what's the other one? Castle Rock. Let's see what Castle Rock is. That's weird, because you got Denver, you got Boulder, Let's see. Where's a Castle Rock? Castle Rock is not that far either. It's south. It's before you get to Colorado Springs. Wow, I wonder why there's such a difference. $2 difference. But it could be, like I said, because there was like almost 49 secretary salaries were reported. So that's a lot. I wonder why Colorado's, they're so close. Like, I can understand Florida. You know, when we looked at Fort Lauderdale compared to Hudson, I can understand that. But these are like not that far from each other. I wonder why the salary is so different. And let's see. Wyoming, the average salary is $16.91, which is below the national average. I think the national average is like 1720 something. Yeah. So right there, Utah, same. So it's the same as the national average, $17.17. And then California, let's see. California, Los Angeles, with 5 salaries reported, $19.60. Sacramento, $19.09. And Torrance, California, $18.19. And these are all with like 5, 6 reporting. So, one thing I noticed about, like I said, about Washington, and because I was looking at some other things too. I was looking at Glassdoor. I was looking at ZipRecruiter. Who else was I looking at? I was looking at some other sites, just just to get a feel. But yeah, it seems like the West Coast is the best coast to get this money. Okay, it was like $40,000 a year. Like, wow. But they was making that money, but you got higher cost of living, so of course that makes sense. But yeah, they was out there. They was out there getting, the West Coast was getting it. But but overall, it seems like the average is like $17. But like I said, it depends on your experience, where you work, whether you work for like a franchise chain, like a tenant, or a HCA or ACA, or if you work for just like an independent hospital, just that has one location. Depends on whether you work way out in the country, or it just all depends. If you work at a teaching hospital, depending on what unit you work on, a lot. It depends on what you do when you go to work. Do you do the job too? Do you do it? Just all depends. It all depends. But I just wanted to do an updated video and just show what's really going on, and what the salaries are. And I do know, because the original video, I do get comments on them, and yeah, y'all making about this. This is about what people are making. So yeah, it sounds about right. But I wanted to do a more in-depth, because I did not do a good in-depth with the first video. So I wanted us to just look at it in 2022, some years later, to see what the difference is, and for us all to look at it together. And so that's all I got for you. If you got any questions or comments, you can put them below. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to like the video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.